Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. We're holding in Menachos Daf Samches. We will be starting Daf Samech Zayin and with base in the Mishnah. Zog the Mishnah. Balo Sorin. When you bring the Sorin of the Omer. So in other words, you did the Sorin, you have now you finally, they grinded, they sieved the flour, and you're left with the Sorin. Puts on it the oil and the levoina. And as you do with many of the menachos, they have both. Yotzak ubolal. So then, Toys points out over here, there really is a three-stage process. You put the oil first, then you put the flour on top, then you mix, and then you put the oil again. But the question is, which one is the Mishnah quoting over here? But Yotzak ubolal means to pour the oil, bala means to mix the oil. Hinif, he lifts up. V'higish, he touches to the mizbeach. Komatz, he does kamitza, like we do all the menachos, 3 middle fingers. V'hiktir, puts on his mizbeach. V'hashai nechol l'koyanim. The leftovers are eaten by the koyanim. Mishakar v'oimer, once the oimer came to the mizbeach, yoitzi u'moitzi m'shuki Yerushalayim shumaleh kemach koli. They go out to the markets of Yerushalayim. What do they see? People are selling koli. Meaning what? The Rashi says kemach vekoli, in flour and maybe more raw wheat, tvua, grain. Chacham were not happy about that. Why? Because that means they prepared it before. Because the minute the carbon came, poof, the market's open. Like, comes after Pesach, like 3 minutes after Pesach, how do you do so fast? So, they didn't like it. Right? So he was caught before. And the chashash is if you come before, maybe you come here before. So he says not a chashash, and it's fine. They could prepare themselves and be ready right away. So Rabbi Yudo is not choshesh that maybe they're gonna eat from it. When we knew, one brings a question, Rabbi Yudo you should check chometz 3 times. The night of Leil Bdikas Chometz, which means Or Larbo, so 13 at night. Then next morning, then the next afternoon. Don't check after, because if you'll check after and you find chometz, you make up to eat it. So you do the bdika before Pesach until you get the entire beer. From here on, don't check anymore, just do bitul. Which means if you didn't check before Pesach, you can check during Pesach. And doing Pesach, after Pesach, he can check throughout. So Chacham are not afraid he's going to find chometz and he's going to eat it. Rabbi Yehuda is afraid he's going to find chometz and he's going to eat it. So you see that Rabbi Yehuda is choshesh, so he's going to eat it. So why here he's not choshesh? They're going to eat it. So the Gemara, Omar Rabo Shani Chodosh, Mitoich Sheloi Hutru Loi Ela Adi Kituf Zochoru. I'll tell you why. By Chodosh, we're not sorry, top, that the only way that you can come in a harvest chodosh is to do kituf. What is kituf? Kituf means you have to use your hand, not use a sickle. So but when you come to chodosh, you're not allowed to approach, you're not allowed to touch it with a machine. So everybody's going to realize this is special, this is unique, and they won't eat it. Okay, that's very nice regarding the harvest. But what about grinding and sifting it? Once you harvested it, you took it out, now you start the other part of the process. How people are going to remember? How can they realize this is different? So you will do shinuim also there. You will grind with a hand grinder, not a animal or water one. And you will do sifting on the opposite side of the sifter. So in other words, every one of the actions that you do with the chodosh before the omer will be done by shinui, and that's the people who remember not to eat it. Okay, says the Gemara, 1 second. Beis HaShlochim, the Shayek Tzira, Beis HaShlochim is a field that you cannot bring, as Rashi says in the second chat, you can't bring the omer from that field. So if I can't bring the omer from that field, we're wanting to not go there to cut it in a certain way. You can harvest any way you want. And then, the Beis HaShlochim, which are in the valleys because they are dry, you're allowed to do ktsira. Avaloi goychim. You can't do piles out of it, but you're allowed to do ktsira. Michael, now I don't have any shinoi because I'm doing ktsira the regular way. You're saying the only way I can do ktsira before the oimer is only if I do b'shinoi. Here, where's the shinoi of it? That's a different answer. Chodosh, until now, everybody was very careful not to eat chodosh. The whole year, they were like, since the grain starts to grow, they're very careful. This is chodosh, this is chodosh, this is chodosh. Chometz, you ate till today. Till you died, you ate chometz. So if someone's going to find chometz, a few hours later, you make up to eat it, it's ready Pesach. You asked the question for Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda by us is not choishesh, someone's going to eat the chodosh, and by chometz he is choishesh. What about Rabbanan? Rabbanan there are not choishesh, and here they are choishesh. So we answered, good answer. There's a difference between chometz and chodosh. Chodosh bodel minei, chodosh is something you never ate till now. Chometz ate till now. Rabbanan the one like kasho, who atzmoi mechazer alav lesoifoi michol ochel minei. By chometz, why is he looking for chometz? When you look for chometz, what do you want to do with it? Burn it. I'm in the middle of the business of the asik to get rid of it. So you're going to get fire, you're going to eat it. By chodosh, is the middle of preparing it to eat. Just not to eat right away. Let's wait for the omer. So you may come to eat it too early. So I'll tell you what. We're talking about a special. What says in the Mishnah, kemach koli, means koli. Talking about a specific flour that you cannot eat. Right? Meaning, we're talking about a flour. You can't eat the flour. That's what they're selling. They're not selling edible stuff. They're selling only flour that you can eat. So this answer, Ravashi, is not a good answer. Why? It's good once you get corn flour. What happens until koli? Meaning, until it becomes flour. Before someone's going to make up to eat it. They say, yeah, but don't remember until then we did the shinui. We harvested the shinui with a hand, now with a sickle. Based on shlochim, the shaykh tzil, whatever based on shlochim we said, you could do ktzil. So Rabashi wanted to tell me that kemach koli here is talking about one item, kemach koli talking about flour. Flour is not edible. So, well, that's very good once it becomes flour. But before it became flour, it is edible. So someone's going to come to eat before. So that's the one does not like the answer. Rabashi, according to the previous answer, the difference between chometz and chodesh. The mal yusuf and the griyusa, each one's in the own way. The real holds chodesh till now everybody ate. People eat till now nobody ate, so nobody's not going to eat it. Chometz, people ate till now, they're going to eat it. Rabbanan hold the opposite. Chometz, he's looking to it to burn it. So he's not chodesh is going to come to eat it. But chodesh is looking to eat it, so you have a chashash. So the Mishnah. Mishikar v'oimer. Once the oimer was nikrav, hutor chodosh miyad. Immediately you can eat. But people that are far away and they don't know if the oimer came, what should they do? They can rely on it from chatzos that probably it was taken care of. So this, remember, we saw them in Sechet Rosh Hashanah, we saw them in Sechet Sukkah. When Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai did takana, he said the entire day of Tetzayin ben Nisan, you should not eat oimer, you should not eat chodosh until the evening. Even though there's no korban oimer. You wait till the evening. So what do you mean? It's not takana. The Torah says it's also. It says that it's you have to be till the entire day. So why the people that are far away can eat in Mechatzos? Because they know basing going to do it. So meaning, what does it say? That's what Rashi points out. Rabbi holds, if you bring the oimer, you could eat chodosh. But what happens if you don't bring the oimer? There's no base in English. I don't have oimer. So what should I do? So everybody agrees chodosh because mutter automatically. But when? Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai holds in the morning. Mishair Mizrach. That's what everyone understands right now. We'll see. The one's going to change in a moment. Rabbi Yehuda holds for the evening. If you have oimer, it's supposed to be before. If you don't have oimer, you have to wait for the evening. So the more Rabbi Shmuel Dar Tavar is manch b'Savigdosh Kayam oimer matir. When you have B'Savigdosh, you have the oimer. That's what's matir. So what Shem is B'Savigdosh Kayam here mizrach matir, meaning like a Birchim and Zakai, according to what we said till now, that the first thing in the morning is mutter. My tamo trei koi ksiv. I have two psukim. Ksiv ad eviachem till you bring the oimer. V'ksiv ad etzem oimer zeh. Right? It says till the end of the day. So it's till you bring until until the day, not end of the day. Until the day. Hakeitzad. Comes much with the shkayom, you have to bring the korban. Because when you with the shkayom, you get to the day. Even B'Savigdosh is kayom, here mizrach matir. They come and say a new shita. They say even when you have B'Savigdosh and you can bring korban oimer, you really mutter b'chodosh first thing in the morning. I don't have to wait for the oimer. So the Gemara says you have to wait till you bring the oimer. So the Gemara mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to wait, but you don't have to wait. Meaning, it's a, as Rashi says, mitzvah lamtin. There's no isser to eat it. It's a mitzvah. Better to wait. But if you didn't eat it, it's also fine. Another question. It says, Mishikar v'oimer uter chodesh miyad. It says, once the oimer was carved, that's what it's mutter. Again, the mitzvah. It says the oimer, that's the next mishnah, that the oimer is matir the medina, meaning for the food outside Beis Hamikdash, and mishtei alechem in Beis Hamikdash. So you see it's matir. So it says the Gemara, the mitzvah. Meaning, again, the same answer. You should wait for the oimer, but if you didn't, you're not over his. Continues the Gemara, Yechezkel on base. Mishachah Beis Hamikdash, Kem Yechim ben Zakai, Shei Yomanev Kolo Asur. Yechim ben Zakai is Misakeh, the whole day is Asur. My time, why? Right? Mehiro. So I'll tell you why. This is what we have. We quoted that in Masechet Sukkah as well. Mehiro yibone Beis Hamikdash. Ve'yomer ishtakad mi lo echalnu behir mizrach hashtanami le'choil. So I'll tell you why. You know why? If you're going to tell me that when your daughter Beis Hamikdash you eat in the morning, tomorrow Beis Hamikdash will be built. And everybody's going to say, can I eat Chadash? Yeah, last year we ate first thing in the morning. So here I can eat first thing in the morning. So that's the Yechezkel ben Zakai said, no, don't eat till the evening. Says the Gemara, they're not going to know, they shtakad lo ave oimer, here mizrach matir. There was no oimer, so then you go waste in the morning. Hashtadika oimer, oimer matir. That's the Yechezkel ben Zakai stakad. Say, when we say kadai le mitzvah, mishum mitzvah leikum and legzor. Say, well, but according to you, you could eat in the morning. Even when Beis Hamikdash is kaya. But there's a mitzvah, I mean, it sounds like a little bit of a chumrah. There's an Indian to wait for the oimer. But you don't have to. So if so, why is Yechezkel doing a takana? Throughout 2,000 years ago, the Yechezkel ben Zakai says, don't eat chodesh until the evening. Why? Because maybe it's should be built. And then what? You could come to eat in the morning. So, you could eat in the morning. That doesn't make sense. It does exist only for that. He holds like a Yehuda that says that minat Torah you have to wait until the evening. Shema ad etzem hayom hazeh ad yitzum shel yoyim. Yitzum means the end of the day, the whole day. V'kasova ad v'adichlal, and you have to go till the yitzum shel yoyim ad v'adichlal. So in other words, Rabbi Yechezkel ben Zakai holds not the takana, gzeiro, atu, maybe something should be built. Rabbi Yechezkel ben Zakai holds you must wait for the evening. That's the din. So when Mir Sovel comes in, does the old way? But Miflik Pligalei. Look at the Mishnah. Looks like Yechezkel ben Zakai is coming to argue. That none. Mishachar Beis Hamikdash hit Yechezkel ben Zakai Shei Yomanev Kolo Asur. He was a takana. Oma Aviuda V'Lo Minat Torah Asur Dichtiv Ad Etzem Hayom Hazeh. So Aviuda says it's Asur Minat Torah. Masha Yechezkel ben Zakai disagrees. So Gemara Aviuda Hu Dekatoi. Aviuda made a mistake. Who saw Yechezkel ben Zakai b'Derabon Koma? He thought Yechezkel ben Zakai is only doing it to Kohen Derabon. Veloy, that's not true. Midor Raisa Koma. So go Vayitkin, Tani. Says Hitkin. My Hiskin, Dorish for Hiskin. What Hiskin means? He dashed the pasuk and not a kana. He wanted to make sure that nobody makes that mistake. But now that he said only a gzeru, that was the ikar din. Says the Gemara, Rapapo, Ve'avuna B'Yedei Yeshua, Achle Chodosh. So it changes a little bit of Yechezkel and Zakai, not because Xavier, because we hold, according to this man, that there's no din to eat to wait for the Omer, even in the Tavis Chidush. Other man, the holds there's an Inyan, you don't have to say Yechezkel and Zakai hold that away. It's only according to this man, right? Because they hold, there's no such thing as waiting for the Omer La'akiv. Says the Gemara, Papa Ve'uni B'Yedei Yeshua Achle Chodosh. They ate Chodosh in Chutz La'aretz. Be'orto Deshita Nagi Shivsa. Meaning when? Moitzi Yudzayin. Moitzi Tetzayin. So, first day Yom Tov is Tezvav Nisan. Second day Yom Tov is Tetzayin Nisan. That evening they ate Chodosh. Even though in Chutz La'aretz you may be one day behind. Because you have to, so the Gemara explains, Kasavi Chodesh b'Chutz La'aretz derabbanan. Whatever Chodesh Chutz La'aretz is only derabbanan. For the Sveika Lechashina. You're right. Really, in Chutz La'aretz you should wait one more day. But because it's only in derabbanan, and we know today that Yom Tov is only a minhag, so we wait that first night. They wait for the morning of the 17th, meaning in Chutz La'aretz, the first day Chol HaMoed. Kasav Chodesh b'Chutz La'aretz deraisa. They hold that it's deraisa, so it's not derabbanan, and therefore I have to wait one more day because I don't know which day is Yom Tov. It's the first day, second day. I have to wait one more day. Yechezkel was mesaken to wait to the evening, only b'derabbanan, not that's deraisa. Meaning, we in Eretz Yisrael, when is the day after the Omer? When is the day of the Omer? Tetzayin, the second day of Pesach. Like I said, don't do it in the morning, wait for the evening. And Chutz La'aretz, I'm not sure. What is the day? Is it second day Yom Tov? Or it's the third day of Pesach, the first day of Chol HaMoed? Because always has second day Yom, at least in the Raisa. So the Chumrah, I do it the third day. I don't eat Chodesh till the third day, but I don't have to wait for the evening. Because the Yechezkel and Zakai that said wait till the evening is a takana. Takana is only near to so I know for sure. When leave me soft, I don't do a takana. My mother told me, your father did not eat Chodesh until Or Lishmoy until the Or to the 18th. Meaning, between the third day and the fourth day of Pesach. Why? The Sovel like Abuda B'Chashas Feko. He holds like Abuda Midoraiso, so you're not late till evening. So it's all Doraiso. Midoraiso, you have to wait for the day after Yom Tov. Midoraiso, you have to wait till the evening if I don't have a carbon. Chutz La'aretz, the day after Yom Tov. I don't know what's the day after Yom Tov. Is it the second day of Pesach or the third day of Pesach? So the Chumrah have to go to the third day to the evening. So you have a three sheet is what you do Chutz La'aretz. Either Chutz La'aretz you go like Eretz Yisrael and you do it on the end of the second day, or Chutz La'aretz you wait for the beginning of the third day, or Chutz La'aretz you go to the end of the third day. Three sheet is what you do Chutz La'aretz. The Tziyuni and the Rambam is that you wait for the end of the third day. You say it. So the Mishnah. Just maybe one to mention one thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yisrael of Gur says it. Says that Rabbi Yechezkel Zakai says maybe Bonei Beis Hamikdash. Maybe next year we say we should rebuild. So I don't know. I can't. I'll give you a takanas over here because who knows when Beis Hamikdash will be built. There's a meaning in Klal Yisrael that Tzfiyah Soimer you don't do in the second night until after Leil Seder. Mika din Pi Allah should do it in Mayav. That's Allah. Why? Because you're supposed to do it beginning. You're not even supposed to eat before. But some of the minute you do in the end of the Seder, right? In the Haggadah Shel Pesach, some of them have the end, you do a Sfira. Why? So he says, because there's people, they're always Meiri Bonei Beis Hamikdash. In a Torah, you should bring Korban Omer before you start Tzfiyas Omer, because you want to count for the Omer. So they're waiting till the end of the Seder, maybe Beis Hamikdash will be built. Maybe Bonei Beis Hamikdash. Who knows? Let's wait a little bit. I still have time, because I'm not going to sleep yet. It's still second night Seder. The Beis Hamikdash was built, not built yet. Okay, let's just go say. That's the way for the second night. Zog the Mishnah. That's the rule, that when you brought the Korban Omer, second day of Pesach, you can eat chodosh. Where? Outside of Beis Hamikdash. When you bring it on Shavuos, Shtei Alechem, you can eat chodosh in Beis Hamikdash. You can bring korbanos from the chodosh. Ein Mevim Menachos, Menachos Bikurim, or Minchas Be'emo, meaning that's Pshat Beis Hamikdash. No Menachos, no Bikurim coming from grain. V'no Minchas Be'emo, Koidim Loimer. You're not allowed to bring because it's chodosh. Imivi, if you did bring, puzzle. Completely puzzle. Because you're not supposed to bring it before the oim. So we have a period in between. You should not bring korbanos before Shtei Alechem and Shavuos. Allows you to bring chodosh to Beis Hamikdash. You should not eat chodosh outside of Beis Hamikdash until the oimer and second day of Pesach. But if you brought the korbanos before Pesach, it's possible. If you brought the korbanos between Pesach and Shavuos, but the evidence is kosher. Why? It explains the Gemara. Hartman was bothered. What's the difference before the oimer for Shtei Alechem? Why before the oimer it's puzzle? For Shtei Alechem, but the evidence is kosher. Before the oimer, nobody can eat chodosh. So it's the korban can be chodosh. Shtei Alechem, you outside Beis Hamikdash you can eat. So outside Beis Hamikdash, but the evidence is okay. Shasta Gabetarfa. The Tavo did not know, didn't have any answer to that answer. Tzovu Ponov Shavyuda Benechem. Nehemiah felt very good about himself. The Tavo had a question, and he didn't have an answer, and he answered. He's so full of glee because you were able to answer a Tavo. I'm not so sure if you're going to live such a long life. When Yeshiva says that, life insurance, nobody's going to sell him life insurance. It's over. It was right before Pesach. Keshaliti says, when I came for Shavuos, or principle could be 2 weeks after Pesach, okay? When I came for Shavuos, Sha'alti Achorv, Yehuda ben Nehemiah Eichenu. What is Yehuda ben Nehemiah? Omer lo niftar lo ve'olach lo. Koltiv. He was out. So interesting. So Musa asked him not to be, to be careful with Chacham. Omer Nachbayit so Yehuda ben Nehemiah nisochim bikurim shikrivim kodim loimer shev. So, what can you bring, or what can you eat before the oimer? Chodosh. Chodosh is only in grain. What about wine? Wine you're allowed to eat. There's no chodosh by wine. Chodosh is only by grain. So what is it? What did the Yehuda ben Nehemiah tell us? Yehuda ben Nehemiah told us that anything you can eat, you can bring as a korban b'di'evet. That's what between Pesach and Shavuos you can eat, so you can bring it as a korban. He says before Pesach I could bring wine because the wine I can eat. So again. Meaning the wine, which is bikurim, shekriv kodim loim ksherim pshito. How they also would do michlal tzedjot. Avlochot lohutu michlal loy. Maybe there by grain, as Rashi explains, was hutu michlal means it was asur and became mutter. But if it was never asur, maybe it's that you don't say this klal. Kamashwan koshkane alchot lo yisa klal. If it was not asur at all, it's even better than being asur and becoming mutter. Okay, look the Gemara. Does Shtei Alechem allow grain not in its right order? Meaning, lechatchilo, you should not bring korbanos to Beis Hamikdash unless there was the oimer and then Shtei Alechem. What happens in the other order? Shtei Alechem and then the oimer. Explain the Gemara. Echidami. He planted these grains between Pesach and Shavuos. Then Shtei Alechem came on Shavuos. He waited another 10 months, came the Omer, and now he has both. Do you say only in order it works, but out of order not? Or maybe not in order it also works. Look at the Bryce says. That's the pasuk is talking about Minchas Soim. How does it come? Minasoyim, barley. Talking about minasoyim, rain, minachitim, it goes in wheat. It says Aviv Legabe Haseoira Aviv when there was the Makkah of Arabi, I believe. No, Makkah of Barat. So it says that the Soyim stayed, or was hit. So it says Aviv Legabe Barley. So the shaila is, how do I know that Oimer is Soyim? I learned it Aviv from Mitzrayim. I found a Yochid bringing his obligation wheat and barley. Right? He brings wheat when he's mechuyev to bring regular mincha, barley when he's a minchas chayt. I know they bring chayv mechitim, that's shtei alechem. So also, in other words, it makes sense. There should be a carbon coming for barley. And that's probably the oimer. If you want to tell me that oimer comes from the wheat, so that was right number one of Rebbe Kiva. It has to be that oimer is a soyim because I have nothing else, and there must be something soyim. If you want to tell me the oimer comes from wheat, ain't shtei alechem bikurim. So shtei alechem is not the new grain. We call the shtei alechem bikurim. The apostle calls it bikurim. It means it's the first wheat coming. According to you, it's not the first wheat coming because we already brought the wheat before by the oimer. So if you hold shtei alechem not in order works, so I'll tell you, I have a very easy solution. What does Yeshiva say? I can't have a situation where the first wheat is going to be the oimer. Because it says on the first wheat, it says by Shavuos that the wheat is the corn. So I know the wheat is the Shavuos is the first. So it will be the first. Here, I'll give you the scenario. Something was planted between Pesach and Shavuos. Past Shavuos, past came the oimer. You bring the oimer from it. That's wheat. Now, something that was not planted before Shavuos, was planted only after Shavuos. So you have to wait for the oimer and Shavuos to come. So that's the first one coming at being planted after Shavuos. So the ones that are planted before Shavuos, you bring the oimer. For the ones that are planted after Shavuos, you bring shtei alechem. So it's the first one for the one that were planted after Shavuos. So you see from here, if it's planted between Pesach and Shavuos, you cannot use it because it has to be Kesidron. That's why I can't bring that solution. But if you hold that Shalai Kesidron works, what's the problem? It is the first. It's the first one for the ones that were planted after Shavuos. Says the Gemara, no, I'll tell you why. Do you think we're going Bikurim Lepira, meaning the first fruit? Bikurim Lamizbech Kamina. We're not saying I have an early harvest and a late harvest. This is the first one of the early of the later harvest. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the Mizbech, that this will be the first time the Mizbech eats from the fruits of this year. So if I have things that grew before Shavuos and things that grow after, that were planted before Shavuos, planted after Shavuos, it's all the same year. The Mizbech already ate these fruits. So in other words, the Gemara's attempt to answer was, I have two different batches. One before Shavuos, one was planted before Shavuos, one after Shavuos. It's great. So the ones that are coming on Shavuos are all new. So I'm not looking for the batch. I'm looking for the Mizbech. Did the Mizbech eat from the fruits of this year? Yes. The Mizbech ate from the fruits of this year. The fact you're bringing a different batch, it's not considered to be first. That's why I can't have the solution. So no raya from here. Do you go Kesidron? If like Kesidron also works, or it doesn't say, it doesn't bring a raya. Say I come Rabbi Sai, this is Hashem. I think Shabbos daf will be somewhere around 6 o'clock. 5:45? Last show was 5:45.